Hi, my name is Richard, and just want to say thank you for all of the views so far on our YouTube channel. Cody and I are thrilled to be engaged now, but even more so, feeling the warmth and compassion that everybody has viewed so many times our video, over 8,300 times so far. It's crazy. I thought maybe a dozen times by our friends, but we're getting comments and posts from around the world, and it's crazy. So we keep getting inquiries about how we met. And earlier I posted a video that Cody recorded on his own while I was at work, so I didn't have any influence. And I wanted to take a moment to tell my side of the story. First off, like Cody said, we did originally meet on Match.com. However, my story goes back a little bit further. In November 2009, I separated from my ex of 10 years. Went through a really bad breakup, bad spiral, bad divorce. We were registered domestic partners in the state of Washington, and so I got a taste of divorce for the first time. Ironically, my ex used to joke that what's the best thing to keep to remind gays that they shouldn't marry is gay divorce. And I guess he proved that because, well, it was ugly. So I went through my own sort of rehab process, went through therapy for a year and a half, kind of hit self-destruct in my life. Didn't know who I was, had been in that relationship for so long that I didn't really know how to operate my life. So anyway, I started online profiles just to meet people and get to know. I guess it was a good exercise in writing about who I am. And so that's what I enjoyed about the online dating stuff, more so than the actual dating, because the actual dating was a little less than miserable. So, fast forward December 3rd, 2011, I was browsing through Match after almost 2 years of being on there, having gone on maybe 5 dates or so. Most of them I wouldn't call disastrous, they were just blah. Match.com, like any dating site, is an exercise in the balance of telling the truth about who you are and knowing the truth about who you are and how to express each of those things. Generally very difficult to find someone who has and can maintain both of those qualities. Me included. I'm not trying to say that I'm better than anybody else. However, once I messaged Cody, saw his profile, very realistic, and wanted to get to know him more. Didn't have any hopes, of course, of him replying. Most people don't. They don't even send you the little "I'm not interested" message. However, within a few hours of me sending him a message telling him that I thought he was, handsome, really liked what he had to say about his profile, admired the fact that he put so much effort into building his profile, I got a reply from him, and we messaged back and forth quite a bit, trying to get to know one another. And, it's during that stage where you sort of flush out what's actually true in the profile, meaning they know who they are, versus the false parts of they think they know who they are. Come to find out, Cody's pretty well in touch with himself, meaning that one of the things in his profile that cracked me up was just to say that he's really stubborn. And I can assure you that he did not lie about this. He's a very stubborn young man. So we messaged back and forth over a few days, decided that we were going to meet just for coffee. And so we met at a cafe, I believe it's the Hotel Nippon Tea and Coffee House, around 3 o'clock on December 5th. I actually referred to my calendar recently when I was preparing for this video because I couldn't exactly remember, but for some reason I did have it on my calendar. And we talked for a half hour or so, said our niceties, and on our way we went. Well, I thought he was adorable. Obviously he is. It's a beautiful thing to interact with someone, be able to admire their youth, but not discount their youth. I can imagine that, I'm 36, he's 21, and so between those two ages, it can be, there's a big gap in life experience that can be communicated pretty clearly in style as well as content of conversations. Well, he didn't disappoint me. Loves history, loves spending time with his family, moved up here from Oregon a year or so ago. Just really interesting life story, and I thought he was quite charming. Plus, of course, beautiful. So shortly thereafter, I sent him a text saying it was great to meet with him, and he replied, yeah, let's get together again. So we had a few dates. Things were going really well, and the part that Cody leaves out of his story is that the reason that we were on and off during the month of December was that I was pushier than he even expressed. I had been out at an event one evening and decided to text him. It was probably 9 or 10 o'clock at night. I had been slightly inebriated. And I said, I think I need you to come and pick me up because I've been drinking and, I want to go home. It was actually more of an excuse of just seeing him, but I couldn't come right out and say that. That would just be wrong. So he replies, he said, well, I can't come and see you because I'm with my mom at the symphony. And I said, oh, come on, just have her drop you off. I have my car, but I can't get home. And he's like, no, I don't want to do that. I'm spending the evening with my mom. And I made the mistake of saying, well, are you just embarrassed to tell your mom that you're in love with me? And the conversation stopped. And I don't think it started again for another couple of days. And then when I finally did hear back from him, after being that pestering person that he mentions in his video, he did reply back that he was upset that I would have insinuated that he loved me after knowing me such a short time. Completely understandable. I was trying to be funny. He didn't take it very funny. Understood. Fair enough. Anyway, we went back and forth, and we went on another date after that, and again I said something that I thought was funny. Honestly, I don't remember what it was. And he stopped talking to me altogether. I was heartbroken. He refused to answer my texts. I called him once, and he finally did answer once, and he just told me to leave him alone. And I was heartbroken. This is probably mid-December now, 2011. But in between meeting him and this final cutoff, we had discussed the fact that he loved the Space Needle and that he was going to be spending New Year's Eve at the Space Needle. So I said, you know what, I'm going to get a hotel near the Space Needle because I hate commuting in New Year's Eve traffic. Way too many drunk people, just way too many people at the Space Needle. So I'm going to get a hotel, and you can stay with me or not. It doesn't matter. I just want to be close to the area. So he's like, oh, cool. So anyway, fast forward a week, we broke up or stopped seeing each other. And I had noticed on Facebook that he had invited a bunch of friends to his New Year's Eve celebration. Anyway, I was at the Space Needle on New Year's Eve in my hotel, probably 10 o'clock at night. Everyone was running around everywhere. And I decided that, I had gotten this hotel because I wanted to spend the evening with him celebrating the new year. So I said, you know what? It's been 2 weeks. I'm going to send him a text message. By this time, it was probably 11 p.m. And so I sent him a message. And after actually getting a reply of hello or something along those lines, I recall sending him a message that said, I think I need you in my life. And there was a long pause before he replied. And then he replied, I think I need you too in my life. And I was just starstruck. It was just a beautiful thing. And I was thrilled that, that little bit of time allowed us to settle in and hopefully move past those first few bumps in the road. So we started arranging how we were going to find each other at the Space Needle. So I had all my camera equipment. I'm a photographer, and so I wanted to go over to the Space Needle. I was going to be videoing the fireworks as well as taking some photos all at the same time, and I wanted to be able to meet up with him while I was doing it. So we arranged, we agreed that we were going to meet right outside of the pavilion in Seattle Center, between the Space Needle and the pavilion. So I went over there, set up my tripod, got my camera all ready. I'm looking around everywhere. There are thousands of people. Cannot find him at all. The fireworks start. I'm heartbroken. I'm recording. Heartbroken. Fireworks are done. Still no Cody. I sent him texts and texts and texts. He stopped replying just about the time that I arrived over there. I was heartbroken, thinking, maybe he changed his mind. Well, the next day, on New Year's Day, we picked up our texting, and he apologized for not getting back to me, but he was with his whole family as well as a few friends, and his phone had gone dead, and turns out that they were only like 30 or 40 feet away from me. But anyway, that's the bulk of how we met. Ever since that day, we've only not seen each other for maybe 2 days span. It's been a fantastic run so far. Very excited to get married. We've started a little bit of our planning so far. It's going well between us, but we have opinions of others that are being tossed in that are creating a few complications. But anyway, we will follow up with some more videos. Thank you, and peace.